Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. There will be no Spice Mass 2021 in Grenada. This story takes the lead in our 1146th edition of Caribbean Perspective for Monday, 5th July 2021. Details after this break.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. There will be no public holidays during the month of August this year because, as it did in 2020, Parliament is set to approve a bill that will cancel the 2 days from the Bank Holidays Act. Notwithstanding the Bank Holidays Act, Chapter 25, for the year 2021, the Carnival August celebrations under the schedule to the Bank Holidays Act are hereby cancelled on the 9th day of August 2021, and from noon on the 10th day of August 2022 shall not be bank holidays for the purposes of the Bank Holidays Act. Read the bill, which will be tabled during the July 7th sitting of the House of Representatives. The COVID-19 cancellation of the Carnival August Celebrations Act 2021 bill will also have to get the approval of the Senate before it goes through the final process of assent by the Office of the Governor General and then gazetted before taking effect. Last year, to contain and control the spread of COVID-19, the government cancelled the holidays in August. That is a period that is used to culminate carnival celebrations, which are usually traditionally launched in April or May. COVID-19, with several variants, continues to spread throughout the world, but Grenada has only one active case. Grenada's vaccination program is being carried out with the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is being administered to people 18 years and older. Using the votes list as a guide, just a little more than 80,000 people are entitled to be inoculated. According to the Ministry of Health, as of June 30th, a total of 20,023 people had received the first dose of the vaccine and 14,287 got the second dose. In other news, Guyana's APNU-AFC Member of Parliament, Jermaine Figueira, has taken over as the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee of the National Assembly on Friday. More in this news source Guyana report with Gordon Mosley.
The government used its majority 2 weeks ago to pass a motion of no confidence against Patterson as the PAC chair, owing to issues surrounding his time as a government minister and the charge that he is currently facing before the courts in relation to the Demerara Bridge feasibility contract. At today's meeting of the PAC, the opposition nominated and elected Figueira to the post. The Region 10 Member of Parliament, who is serving his second term as an MP, said Patterson's removal as PAC chair is no victory, as there was a grave miscarriage of justice when the government used its majority to vote him out of the position. He warned the government that it has now put a dangerous precedent in motion.
That my election as chairman comes on the heels of a grave miscarriage of justice against Mr. David Patterson, who was doing a phenomenal job as chairman of the PAC. His removal by this said motion, Mr. Speaker, we believe sets a very bad precedent on the architecture of the procedural aspect of matters of the House and other committees. The removal of Mr. Patterson, Mr. Speaker, is no victory here today. Sir, the confidence reposed on me by my fellow colleagues is appreciated, and it speaks to the view of our very own Guyanese vernacular, that when you remove one Rasta another will take his place.
MP Figueroa said moving forward, the Public Accounts Committee intends to keep the government's feet to the fire when it comes to the government spending of taxpayers' money.
And we on this side of the House will, Mr. Speaker, with a whirlwind of resoluteness, will manage the affairs of this committee to ensure transparency and accountability of the people's money. We will redouble our efforts to get the work done by meeting as often as possible to complete much work that was stalled as a result of the PPP's most despicable motion to remove Mr. David Patterson as chairman of this committee. But we are resolute, sir, in our commitment to represent the interests of every Guyanese and ensuring that transparency and accountability in this committee is met.
The Public Accounts Committee is considered the most powerful committee in the National Assembly because of its sweeping powers in overlooking the government's financing and spending. The work of the committee was stalled for several months.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Leader of the AFC, Kemraj Ramjatan, says the PPPC is seeking to adopt Kazakhstan's model of managing oil wealth instead of utilizing the Natural Resources Fund. Government has since responded, committing that all citizens will benefit from Guyana's wealth. HGP's Amil Griffith reports.
Guyana's political landscape is seemingly under the microscope of Western officials after two United States congressmen publicly called on the government of the day to ensure that there is an equitable division of oil wealth, political inclusion, and for all Guyanese to be involved in the decision-making process. This call was issued by U.S. Congressman Albio Sires and Hank Johnson. Congressman Johnson said that, I quote, "Guyana's wealth is for all the people of Guyana, irrespective of their ethnicity," end of quote. In a response to those statements by the congressman, the Minister of Governance and Parliamentary Affairs, Gail Teixeira, said on Wednesday night that the government is committed to ensuring its citizens benefit from the country's wealth prior to oil, during oil, and even after oil.
We have been saying this all the time. In fact, a manifesto of the People's Progressive Party Civic during the election campaign and in the programs we've brought out since is focusing on making sure that Guyanese benefit not only from the oil money, but from the development of our nation.
Minister Teixeira also refuted discriminatory allegations by the APNU-AFC government while lamenting that they are guilty of the same. On Thursday, leader of the Alliance for Change, Kemraj Ramjatan, accused the PPPC during a virtual media conference of eyeing ways to mismanage and mishandle the oil revenue Guyana has already accrued. He pointed to their alleged refusal to accept the Natural Resources Fund NRF Act in its current form. In layman terms, the NRF, Ramjatan said, will see a large portion of oil revenue going to the next generation of Guyanese in the next 2 decades, while the spending of the remaining portion will be overlooked by an intersectoral investment committee. The NRF includes the private sector and civil society.
When we were in office there, that is the APNU-AFC coalition government, had indicated that we wanted that model because it prevents a president or a finance minister from having a command over that funding.
Under the NRF, the oil money would have to be accounted for by an oversight committee outside of the audit office to avoid volatile public spending of the funds. He said that government seems to be adopting a Kazakhstani oil management model.
In the Kazakhstan model, it's two men that control the oil monies, the president and the finance minister. And so we know the president here is Bara Jagdeo, notwithstanding Irfan Ali. and the Ashni Singh is the finance minister. So we're going to go back to pre-2015 days.
Last year, Minister of Natural Resources Vikram Bharat dubbed the Natural Resources Fund Act as unacceptable, saying that it would be repealed or amended this year. Reporting for the HTP Nightly News, I'm Al Griffith.
There is a cluster of 18 COVID-19 cases at the Scarborough General Hospital in Tobago. This was revealed at the Division of Health's media conference on Thursday. More from TV6's Elizabeth Williams.
There has been a cluster of cases identified at the Scarborough General Hospital. Just to give the public some insight into how the matter is being treated with, the first step would have been to identify persons who were in contact with the initial case that may have also tested positive. That exercise has been conducted and is ongoing. We've managed to test a number of staff members as well as patients who may have been in fair proximity to what we believe to be the index case of the cluster. Thus far, we have identified a number of persons, including staff members, who would have subsequently tested positive.
According to the TRHA, there is no COVID-19 outbreak, as all protocols have been observed for sanitization, testing, contact tracing, isolation, and monitoring, as is the norm. Due to the rapid antigen testing initiated on the island, the situation was able to be quickly managed.
The environmental team would have been called in immediately to sanitize the ward as well as those common areas that the staff would be interacting in. And of course, we are proceeding along the pathway of reviewing what has happened in an effort to improve our processes and prevent any further similar occurrences.
Some changes have been made in order to maintain services at the Scarborough General Hospital.
I have reassigned some members of staff from other areas to provide services in the medical department. Also, the place where we manage COVID positive patients is at the fort. The COVID facility is up there. That facility is staffed with separate staff, and the service continues.
Cluster cases are also being experienced at the Canaan Health Center.
But yes, that situation exists. Over the last couple of months, we may have had multiple clusters in similar situations. In terms of the sanitization of the facility, that is an exercise that is undertaken by the environmental department every day.
Currently, COVID-19 cases are either at home or at the COVID-19 treatment facilities. Contact tracing and isolation of any primary contact is part of the prevention of recurrent infection of any person. The follow-up of these persons is done by the County Medical Officer for Health. Health personnel are being encouraged by the TRHA to get vaccinated. Elizabeth Williams, TV6 News.
Will the promise of delivering on 5 specific campaign pledges secure victory at the polls for the ruling United Workers' Party in St. Lucia? Solage Alfred of HTS News Force reports on this.
We will deliver 5 important things to you, and all we're asking is you to allow us to continue to finish the job that we started.
Another prospective 5 years, another 5 promises to be implemented within the first 100 days of the new term if the United Workers' Party is re-elected by the St. Lucian voters. Minister for Tourism and MP for Ancillary Canneries, Dominic Fede, dissected the campaign pledge of national health insurance, promising to put an end to the need for family members of individuals in need of medical assistance to depend on fundraising activities to pay for treatment.
The United Workers' Party believes that this is a tremendous injustice to our people. The United Workers' Party believes that it is time to put an end to this reality that confronts our country. And so therefore, we are proposing as part of our 5 for 5, the National Health Insurance Scheme. It has been something we have been diligently working on and are ready to implement for all St. Lucians in our first 100 days when we are elected by the people of St. Lucia at the next general elections. It will deliver up to $75,000 in benefits for each person every year. It will mean our people will be healthier as they can access medical care when they are sick rather than when they can't afford it.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the food fair from anywhere in the world and you can receive here in Grenada? The food fair and GrenadaMarket.com now makes it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.